Right after the gunshots were heard, a witness reportedly looked outside and saw a person, according to new details emerging in the murder case of Ashley Okland, a 27-year-old real estate agent who was shot while working an open house in broad daylight. I'm Kamar, and here's a quick recap. On April 8, 2011, Ashley Okland sent a casual email to a friend from her open house in West Des Moines, Iowa. Prosecutors say that was at 1:56 p.m. Just minutes later, a witness and her mother, who lived next to the model home, heard two loud, closely spaced sounds described as thuds, which investigators believe were gunshots. The witness then reportedly looked outside and saw a person near the front door. Prosecutors later claimed she identified that individual as Kristin Ramsey. At the time, Kristin was 38 years old, had been married for 16 years to her high school sweetheart, and was raising a young child.
She worked as a sales manager for Rutland Homes, the company that developed the townhomes where Ashley was killed. She'd been with them for about 14 years, according to the Des Moines Register. Now, earlier reporting from the Register suggested this witness may have also worked for Rutland Homes, but that detail isn't entirely clear. What court documents do allege is that the witness saw Kristin pacing near her vehicle, talking on her cell phone. According to court records cited by KCCI News, that call was allegedly made to another Rutland Homes employee. Then, according to the witness cited in court documents, Kristin allegedly backs up her vehicle in what's described as a high rate of speed and an erratic manner and drives away, before allegedly returning to the area about 15 minutes later. Moments after she leaves, the witness goes inside to the model home to check on things, finds Ashley on the floor, and calls 911. Prosecutors put the call time at 2:09 p.m. Court records say Ashley was shot at close range, once in the chest and once in the face. She was 27, living with her longtime boyfriend and their dog. She'd been working in real estate for about 4 years, including the last year with Iowa Realty, selling the very townhomes where she was killed. Kristin was interviewed multiple times, and prosecutors allege she gave conflicting versions of where she was and what happened that day, according to court documents cited by the Des Moines Register. They say her statements don't just conflict with other witnesses, they also allegedly conflict with each other. Prosecutors also say investigators didn't just interview her, they searched her home twice, once back in May 2011 and again in 2026. Now, this is where the defense pushes back. Kristin doesn't deny that she was outside the townhome that day, but her defense says the timeline isn't reliable. They argue the estimated time of the shooting, shortly after 2 p.m., could be off, because it's partly based on a neighbor's recollection allegedly tied to a broken clock, according to the Register. They also argue she didn't flee the scene, but rather left to get help from a colleague. And when it comes to those alleged conflicting statements, they have an explanation for that too. They argue the original police report from 2011 was, in their words, poorly phrased and vague. And any differences in what she's said most recently, they say that's just the reality of trying to remember the details more than a decade later. And the defense is raising something else.
According to the Register, the court was told that several co-workers or neighbors died by suicide or attempted suicide in the months following the murder. While the report does not specifically name them, public records suggest that at least 2 individuals linked to the case experienced suicide or attempted suicide during that period. A June 2011 article from the Des Moines Register also states that the woman who made the 911 call was reported missing on April 25, just over 2 weeks after the shooting, adding another unsettling detail to the timeline of the case.
Police reports cited in that article say she attempted to take her own life, but was found less than 24 hours later. The second incident involves a real estate agent who had worked with Ashley. He died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound on June 8th, exactly 2 months after the shooting. Police had spoken to him along with her other co-workers during the investigation, and according to the Des Moines Register, had cleared him of any involvement before his death. As for what any of this means for the case, that's still unclear. Public information is limited, and investigators haven't said how, if at all, these incidents factor into the bigger picture. Kristin worked at Rutland Homes until the company collapsed in the fall of 2011. According to Builder magazine, the housing downturn hit them hard, leaving the company buried in debt. After that, she moved on, most recently working as a title officer at Midland Title and Escrow, a company owned by Iowa Realty's parent company. And just to help you keep it straight, Ashley worked for Iowa Iowa Realty at the time she was killed. According to a statement from that company, Kristin started there several months after Ashley's death, which suggests that once Rotland Homes shut down in the fall of 2011, she transitioned over. As far as her background goes, there's nothing that really stands out. No criminal history, no pattern of behavior that would point you here. In fact, based on what's been reported, her only known run-in with the law before this was a speeding ticket decades ago. At her April 2026 bond hearing, people who know her showed up and said the same thing.
She is described as compassionate and kind, and many say the allegations don't align with the person they know. However, one key issue remains: there is still no clearly established motive, which is where the defense strongly challenges the prosecution's case. The defense argues that the state's evidence in 2026 is essentially the same as it was in the weeks and months following April 8, 2011, when prosecutors originally felt there wasn't enough proof to bring charges. Despite that, Kristin Ramsey, now 53, has been charged with first-degree murder. She denies all allegations and, like any defendant, is presumed innocent until proven guilty in court. Her trial is currently scheduled to begin in January 2027.